rush to exit positions. This would be bearish territory, possibly triggering further downside momentum. Conversely, if SOL finds support and bounces back, reclaiming the $130 mark, we might ignite a bullish sentiment. This would open the door to $135, especially if volume spikes, indicating renewed buying interest. Consider that if broader market sentiment turns positive due to macroeconomic developments, SOL could rally faster, possibly hitting $140 on the momentum. Conversely, a negative catalyst. Ever felt like watching paint dry is more thrilling than trading? Well, slap yourself awake because we've got an automated trading bot in beta that's about to get your heart racing. Currently, it's running in simulation mode, trading SOL perpetual futures, and trust me, it's not your grandma's investment strategy. We're harnessing AI for strategy tuning, meaning this bot learns, adapts, and sharpens its edge over time. It's like a trader on caffeine, constantly evolving. And guess what? You can see live buy/sell signals in real time. No more guessing games here. Get ready for an exhilarating ride as you watch it trade and see results fly in. And hey, if you're as pumped as I am, hit that subscribe button to follow our journey. Got ideas for features or just want to vent about your last trade? Leave a comment. Seriously, we want to hear from you. Let's make this trading adventure a wild one together. Are you ready to confront your worst enemy in trading? It's not the market, it's your own impulsiveness. Legendary trader Jesse Livermore once said, "It was never my thinking that made the big money for me, it was always my sitting." In a bearish market, don't chase every headline. Instead, remember the calm of Miyamoto Musashi, who taught that true mastery lies in the ability to remain undistracted. Focus on a single sharp detail in your analysis, not the noise. As the storm rages, true strength reveals itself in restraint. Embrace the stillness within, and let the market reveal its moves. This isn't just about surviving, it's about waiting for the right moment to strike. Seize that insight, and you'll thrive. Oh, interesting. The market seems to be in a state of muted equilibrium. With BTC and ETH stable, and our asset SOL holding steady at $124.762, it's clear that investors are exercising caution. The stable volume trend suggests a sense of complacency, as if the market is waiting for a catalyst to spark a move. This psychology of inaction can be attributed to the concept of loss aversion, where investors prioritize avoiding losses over realizing gains. It's a peculiar phenomenon, often driven by emotional decision-making rather than rational analysis. As the market idles, it's essential to recognize the importance of patience and disciplined investing, lest we fall prey to impulsive decisions. The current climate is a reminder that, in crypto, stillness can be just as telling as turbulence. This chart is telling me that the altcoin market is teetering on a knife's edge. You've got Ethereum Classic trying to claw back up but facing relentless selling pressure. Chainlink. Yeah, it's flashing green now, but one bad partnership announcement and watch it plummet like a rock. And don't even get me started on Shiba Inu, it's like a roller coaster ride with no safety bars. One meme tweet and it could tank overnight. Meanwhile, Solana seems to be holding its breath, waiting for the next big DeFi project to either make or break it. But the real tension lies in Bitcoin's movements. If it sneezes, the whole altcoin market coughs. Traders are jittery, and fear is creeping in like a thief in the night. But momentum is still accelerating upwards, so we're watching to see if this is a brief rejection or a full-blown reversal. The current
Whoa.
candle is forming a
What a
decent
wild
wick,
ride we've got with
indicating
SOL.
some selling pressure,
On the 1-minute
but we need
chart,
to see a close
those
below
recent candles are showing
123.30
some
to confirm
indecision,
any
tiny
bearish
bodies with
intentions.
long wicks, hinting at
We're right
buyers
on the
stepping
edge
in
of a
but
key moment
sellers
here
pushing
with
back
SOL
hard.
hovering around that
The last few candles have mostly been red, suggesting selling pressure, but we just witnessed a flicker of green. Could it be a momentum shift? Switching to the 3-minute time frame, there's a clear tightening pattern. The price is coiling around that $124.70 mark, creating a potential springboard for a move. Long upper wicks scream not so fast. Sellers are still lurking around. If we see a break above recent highs near $125, stay alert for a rapid scalp opportunity. Around this hour, typical price action can be a bit sluggish, but don't get too comfy. If the next few candles can maintain real talk for a second, looking at the 1M and 3M candles for SOL, we've got some interesting behavior unfolding. The recent 1M candles show smaller bodies, hinting at indecision. The market's kind of teetering like a tightrope walker. We're seeing long upper wicks, signaling there's some selling pressure hovering around that $125 mark. On the 3M chart, momentum shifted slightly. We had a series of red candles transitioning into greens, but nothing convincing yet. It's like watching a flickering light. Just when you think it's stable, it dims again. Consolidation patterns are forming, the price is tightening, suggesting a potential breakout soon. If you're scalping, watch for a push above $125. If it fails, that could signal a quick drop. Overall, in the next 15 to 30 minutes, we're testing that resistance at 123.53, folks, and it's a pivotal moment. The last few candles have shown a bit of bullish momentum, but we just printed a long-legged doji, signaling indecision in the market. Volume is dead right now, just 0.2 times the average. Solid opportunity here with SOL. Setup type, breakout setup. Trigger, enter at $125 as it breaks above resistance. Target, aim for $126.50, where it has previously faced selling pressure. Stop, set your stop loss at $124.50 to minimize risk. Risk/reward, this setup gives a solid 3:1 risk/reward ratio, worth taking. This trade capitalizes on the current momentum. If SOL breaks $125, expect a quick run toward $126.50. Monitor volume, a surge would confirm strength. Key point, risk is controlled, and potential profit is substantial. Execution is critical. Get in quick on that breakout. Don't overlook this one, it's ripe for a scalp. Between you and me, let's break down our current setup on SOL. We're holding a long position of 2 contracts at $124.07, and guess what? We're sitting at $124.90 right now, so that's a neat little gain of $8.35. Not too shabby. But, I gotta say, the market's throwing some mixed signals our way. SOL's down nearly 1% over the past 24 hours, and the RSI is sitting right at the neutral mark 50. It's like waiting for a play to develop in the game, right? Then there's that MACD, showing a bearish trend. So, while we're in the green, we need to be cautious here. It's a tight game, and we're watching closely, both the short and longer term charts as we navigate this. Just remember trading. If you're enjoying the stream and want to keep up with the action, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. What's your take? Are we breaking out, or is the market going to reject here? Drop your thoughts in the chat. Alright, folks, we're right up against that critical resistance at 123.53. Well, look at SOL playing coy at about 125, like it's afraid to commit to that sweet round number. This little dip of just over 1%? It's like watching a toddler drop a toy,
wondering if it's worth picking it up again. Yesterday morning feels like a lifetime ago, but here we are, stuck in the mud while traders are probably gnashing their teeth. All this hesitance makes me wonder what's brewing beneath the surface. I'm seeing something here, a lesson from Paul Tudor Jones. The most important rule of trading is to play great defense. In this bearish market, remember that uncertainty is your ally. It sharpens your focus. Protect your downside fiercely while adapting your strategy, because those who panic miss the opportunities hidden in the chaos. Embrace the unknown, it's where the real profits lie. Remember what I said earlier about understanding where volume clusters are? Right now, SOL is hovering at $124.862, but we need to pay attention to those high volume nodes, or HVNs. That's where the most trading happens, creating support and resistance zones. If price lingers around these HVNs, expect some choppy action. Think of it as a boxing match with no clear winner. On the flip side, low volume nodes, or LVNs, are where the real danger lies. These air pockets mean prices can fly through them without much resistance. So, if SOL breaks into an LVN, brace yourself for rapid movement. It could leave traders in the dust. Now, checking the value area. If 70% of today's volume is outside, it signals potential imbalance that traders will want to exploit. If you're scalping, remember, at an HVN. This chart is telling me that SOL's slight dip feels as dramatic as a soap opera cliffhanger. Traders often act like they're the directors, searching for the next twist, yet here we are, forced to ponder solitudes in price action. If you think this drop means big trouble, consider that sometimes, it's just a plot device to build tension before the story resolves. Isn't it ironic? We obsess over every wiggle, yet often forget that in trading, like in life, patience is key. It's a bit like baking bread, you can't rush the rise. A hasty trader is like a cook pulling the loaf too. You know what I find fascinating about SOL right now? The immediate pressure seems to be leaning more toward sellers, specifically on the 1-minute chart. Recent candles are displaying selling pressure, and the bid is consistently getting hit harder than the ask. We're stuck at $124.759 with a slight drop of about 1.08%. The RSI on the 5-minute time frame is neutral at 50, which tells me there's no urgency from buyers just yet. The MACD is bearish, and the volume trend is stable, indicating that any rallies are lacking the needed momentum. In terms of scalping bias, I'm leaning towards short scalps for the next 15 to 30 minutes. If I see a shift, like a spike in buying volume or a strong bullish candle that turns those. Oh, interesting. I've been looking at SOL's charts, and the confluence isn't exactly smooth tonight. The 1-minute chart shows choppy price action, more noise than signal. It feels like traders are indecisive, with RSI at 50. Then, moving to the 5-minute view, the trend appears bearish, but it's still hovering around key support levels. We might see some volatility if it breaks those levels. Now the 15-minute trend is a mixed bag. We're not clearly trending or ranging. The MACD confirms bearish sentiment, so caution is essential. When checking for confluence, the 1-minute and 5-minute charts don't fully align with the 15-minute. The lack of agreement suggests we should tread lightly, maybe even reduce our position size. So, the play here? With the short-term struggles, it's safer to wait for a clearer signal before diving in. Let's keep an eye on those key levels. Remember what I said earlier about volatility being a double-edged sword? With a 24-hour range of 4.08%, I'd say this market is moderately active, but not wildly unpredictable. The current price of $124.852 is hovering near the midpoint of that range. As we navigate this environment, I'm focusing on the potential pitfalls. If we're not careful, a sudden swing could catch us off guard, and that 4% range could quickly become 6% or more. The seed of uncertainty is planted, and I'm cautious about how it might grow. We need to be prepared for the market to turn against us, so let's prioritize risk management and adjust our strategy to account for the potential downsides. 4% range could quickly become 6% or more. The seed of uncertainty is planted, and I'm real talk for a second. What a wild ride in the market today. I mean, we've got SOL sitting at about $124.89, and you can almost feel the tension in the air. This price action has been buzzing, and that spread is so tight, it's practically begging us to make a move. Now, if you're just tuning in, here's the scoop. SOL's been pivoting around that $124 mark, and guess what? We've got some long positions in play that are looking pretty solid. It's all about that psychology right now. Traders are getting a bit antsy, and you can just sense the anticipation. Everyone's trying to gauge that next swing, and it's like watching a tightly coiled spring ready to snap. So, keep an eye on those volume spikes, folks. They could be crucial for setting a new direction soon. It's that kind of day where patience could be your best ally. I'm seeing something here that's impossible to ignore. With a 24-hour range of just over 3%, this market is hardly quiet. It's a breeding ground for volatility, swinging between $123.07 and $127.24. This is not a casual stroll, this is a wild ride. For traders like me, it's a double-edged sword. On one side, volatility screams opportunity. Each tick could mean profits. It's a dance of risk and reward. I'm itching to capitalize on price movements, leveraging the unpredictable nature of traders' emotions. Now, if I play my cards right, I could snatch gains from these fluctuations. But let's not sugarcoat it. With opportunity comes danger. A sudden drop could wipe out gains in a flash, leaving you scrambling. Look, SOL is currently at $124.945, down nearly 1%. The recent candles are leaning towards selling pressure, evident as the ask side is being hit more frequently. We're making lower highs, which is typically bearish. On the 5-minute time frame, the RSI is neutral, but it's worth noting that the MACD is flat, indicating a lack of strong momentum in either direction. Volume trends are normal, but we need to see rallies accompanied by stronger buying volume to support any bullish activity. Given this context, I'm leaning toward short scalps in the next 15 to 30 minutes. The sellers appear to be in control, and unless we see a clear reversal with increasing buy volume or a break above recent highs, I'm sticking with my bearish bias. And that's why the exit strategy in our scalping approach is so crucial. Picture a tightrope walker. One slip, and they're toast. We implement take profit and stop loss levels to keep risk in check. The take profit is like a safety net. When we hit a target, we grab gains quickly. It's about seizing opportunities and not getting greedy. On the flip side, the stop loss is our insurance policy. If a trade goes south, we cut our losses before they balloon. Imagine a fire alarm. It tells you when to escape before the flames engulf you. What's brilliant about this is the science behind it. Using historical data helps us fine-tune these exit points. Our backtesting confirms these levels work, allowing us to strategize effectively. In a market that moves faster than a cheetah, reacting quickly is everything. This dual exit strategy not only. Remember what I said earlier about Bitcoin Pizza Day? On May 22, 2010, Laszlo Hanyuks paid 10,000 BTC for 2 pizzas. Those pies are worth over $1.2 billion today. This wild moment not only showcased Bitcoin's potential but also the absurdity of early crypto valuations.
Fast forward to now, with SOL soaring at $124.949, it's clear the landscape has drastically shifted. Traders today are grappling with the lessons of ridiculous highs and lows, reminding us to never underestimate the volatility of this market. Fast forward to now, with SOL soaring at $124.949, it's clear the landscape has drastically shifted. Traders today are grappling with the lessons of ridiculous highs and lows, reminding us to never underestimate the volatility of this market. Fast forward to now, with SOL soaring at $124.949, it's clear the landscape has drastically shifted. Traders today are grappling with the lessons of ridiculous highs and lows, reminding us to never underestimate the volatility of this market. Fast forward to now, with SOL soaring at $124.949, it's clear the landscape has drastically shifted. Traders today are grappling with the lessons of ridiculous highs and lows, reminding us to never underestimate the volatility of this market. Fast forward to now, with SOL soaring at $124.949, it's clear the landscape has drastically shifted. Traders today are grappling with the lessons of ridiculous highs and lows, reminding us to never underestimate the volatility of this market. Fast forward to now, with SOL soaring at $124.949, it's clear the landscape has drastically shifted. Traders today are grappling with the lessons of ridiculous highs and lows, reminding us to never underestimate the volatility of this market. Fast forward to now, with SOL soaring at $124.949, it's clear the landscape has drastically shifted. Traders today are grappling with the lessons of ridiculous highs and lows, reminding us to never underestimate the volatility of this market. Ever watch a robot gamble with your money? It's a wild ride, and you might want to hold your breath. Our automated trading bot, currently running in simulation mode on SOL Perpetual futures, is in active development. This is what beta looks like, folks. With AI strategy tuning, it learns and adapts over time, flashing real-time buy and sell signals right before your eyes. Sure, things could crash and burn spectacularly, but hey, that's part of the thrill. Want to join this roller coaster? Subscribe to see how it evolves and let us know in the comments what features you crave. After all, your input might just steer this bot into something remarkable. Oh, interesting. We've got a long position in Solana, currently holding 2 contracts at an entry of $124.07. It's trading right now at $124.94, which gives us an unrealized PNL of $8.75. Not bad. Now, looking at the position quality, we're in a slight gain, but it's crucial to assess the momentum. Solana's got some volatility, so I'm keeping a close eye on the resistance around $125. If it breaks through that, we could see a nice run. On the flip side, if it dips below $124, I'll start reassessing. The risk is moderate. I'd say the stop loss should sit just under $123 to protect our small gain, but I want to see how it interacts with that $125 level first. If we get some bullish volume, I might ride this further,
but a quick exit could be in play if momentum wanes.
Stop loss should
In this
just
game,
under $123 to protect our small gain, but I want to see how it interacts with that $125 level first. If we get some bullish volume, I might ride this further, but a quick exit could be in play if momentum wanes. In this game, $123 to protect our small gain, but I want to see how it interacts with that $125 level first. If we get some bullish volume, I might ride this further, but a quick exit could be in play if momentum wanes. In this game, $123 to protect our small gain, but I want to see how it interacts with that $125 level first. If we get some bullish volume, I might ride this further, but a quick exit could be in play if momentum wanes. In this game, $123 to protect our small gain, but I want to see how it interacts with that $125 level first. If we get some bullish volume, I might ride this further, but a quick exit could be in play if momentum wanes. In this game,
Alright, pay attention to this. The current price of SOL is at $124.827, but trading volume is zero. Alarm bells should be ringing. High volume nodes are crucial, they're where most trading happens, making them potential support or resistance zones.
Pay attention to this.
If SOL hovers around HVN, expect choppy markets. Traders are entrenched and undecided.
But trading
Now,
volume is
what
zero.
about low
Alarm bells
volume
should be
nodes?
ringing.
Those are your
High
speed
volume nodes
zones.
are crucial.
With
They're
little
where most
trading happening,
happens,
price can
making
zip
them
through them
potential
without
support or
resistance.
resistance zones.
If SOL approaches a
If SOL hovers
LVN,
around an
anticipate
HVN,
acceleration.
expect
This is
choppy
where
markets.
sharp moves
Traders are
occur.
entrenched and
The
undecided.
value area is key too.
Now,
It
what
shows
about
where
low volume
70%
nodes?
of today's trading
Those are your
volume is
speed zones.
concentrated.
With
Are
little
we at a
trading
HVN
happening,
or LVN?
price can zip through them
If
without
we're outside the
resistance.
value area,
If SOL
expect
approaches a
volatility.
LVN,
For
anticipate
scalping,
acceleration.
if
This
you're
is
at a
where sharp moves
HVN,
occur.
tread carefully.
The
Chop is
value
coming.
area is key too. It
We've
shows
got a
where
clean breakout
70%
setup
of
forming
today's
on
trading
SOL.
volume is
It's
concentrated.
coiling tightly around that
Are we at
$124.83
If we're
level.
outside the value area,
One setup type
expect
asterisk
volatility.
breakout setup,
For
price
scalping,
consolidating
if
before a
you're at
move.
HVN,
2
tread
trigger
carefully.
asterisk
Chop
enter
is
at
coming.
$125 as it breaks above that resistance. 3 target asterisk aim for $126.50. That's a solid mark where sellers might step in. 4 stop asterisk set your stop at $124 to limit losses if it reverses. 5 risk/reward asterisk this gives you a 3:1 ratio, risking $1 to make $1.50. Definitely worth taking. If SOL can hold above that $125 mark, momentum should kick in. Watch for volume spikes confirming the breakout. It's late, but this setup looks promising. Grab your entry, manage your risk, and let's play it right. If SOL can hold above that $125 mark, momentum should kick in. Watch for volume spikes confirming the breakout. It's late, but this setup looks promising. Grab your entry, manage your risk, and let's play it right. If SOL can hold above that $125 mark, momentum should kick in. Watch for volume spikes confirming the breakout. It's late, but this setup looks promising. Grab your entry, manage your risk, and let's play it right. If SOL can hold above that $125 mark, momentum should kick in. Watch for volume spikes confirming the breakout. It's late, but this setup looks promising. Grab your entry, manage your risk, and let's play it right. If SOL can hold above that $125 mark, momentum should kick in. Watch for volume spikes confirming the breakout. It's late, but this setup looks promising. Grab your entry, manage your risk, and let's play it right. This market is on fire, but not in the way you think. As I dive into the numbers, I'm struck by the 3.34% range percentage. It's surprisingly contained, considering the $4.17 swing in the 24-hour range. Zooming in on that range percentage, I'm curious to see if this relatively tight leash will snap, unleashing a frenzy of trading opportunities, or if it's a sign of a more subdued market, where traders need to be laser focused to capitalize on the subtle fluctuations. You know what I find fascinating? The way legendary trader Paul Tudor Jones once revealed, the most important rule of trading is to play great defense, not great offense. In a bearish market, this advice transforms into a lifeline. Picture a rocky shore battered by relentless waves. Here, survival hinges not on conquering storms but mastering the art of weathering them. When you're deeply positioned and the tides turn against you, take a page from military strategy. Reflect on the Battle of Thermopylae, where defenders sculpted their terrain to counter overwhelming force. In trading, this means tightening your risk management like a fortress wall. Narrowing your stops and re-evaluating your entry points gives you the breathing space to navigate turbulent waters. Strategic retreats can protect your capital and invite resurgence. In the relentless market grind, your survival isn't about unyielding aggression, it's about narrowing your stops and re-evaluating your entry points gives you the breathing space to navigate turbulent waters. I'm seeing something here with SOL. It's coiling up around $124.75, hinting at a breakout setup. Setup type, breakout trigger, enter at $125 as it clears resistance. Target, aim for $126.50, just below the recent high. Stop, set your stop at $124 to minimize risk. Risk/reward, this setup offers a solid 3:1 reward, definitely worth taking given the momentum. Additionally, if it falters and tests $124, look for a failed breakout fade. If it fails at $124.50 after a bounce, enter short at $124.25 to capitalize on that potential drop. Target, $123.20, stop, $124.75 risk/reward. In this case, you'd be looking at a 2:1, which is still attractive. These setups are. This chart is telling me that loss aversion is a critical factor in my decision making, especially late at night when my mind is already fatigued. Studies show that losing $100 feels worse than the joy of gaining $100. I recall a trade on that volatile Tuesday when the stock dipped from $150 to $140. Seeing it drop made me freeze, almost paralyzed by fear. Instead of cutting losses, I held on, convincing myself it would bounce back. Looking at this chart now, I see a pattern of stubbornness tied to that emotional response. I should have recognized my aversion to loss was clouding judgment. I'd rather risk missing a potential gain than incur a loss, and that's cost me. If the price moves to $135 again, I'll think clearer this time. Holding onto a trade to avoid regret can lead to missed opportunities, like the recent spike when it hit $160. Oh, interesting. I just noticed something incredible. I'm up $6.35. I mean, who would have thought this tiny number could make me feel like I just hit the jackpot? I knew it. We did it. Thank you, universe. I'm buying a mansion, a yacht, and maybe a private island with this. Can you believe how far we've come? All those haters can just watch as I dance around in joy. I'm crying happy tears. Why did I ever doubt? This is pure magic. Let's keep this rolling because I can feel it. This is just the beginning. Can you believe how far we've come? All those haters can just watch as I dance around in joy. I'm crying happy tears. Why did I ever doubt? This is pure magic. Let's keep this rolling because I can feel it. This is just the beginning. Can you believe how far we've come? All those haters can just watch as I dance around in joy. I'm crying happy tears. Why did I ever doubt? This is pure magic. Let's keep this rolling because I can feel it. This is just the beginning. Can you believe how far we've come? All those haters can just watch as I dance around in joy. I'm crying happy tears. Why did I ever doubt? This is pure magic. Let's keep this rolling because I can feel it. This is just the beginning. Can you believe how far we've come? All those haters can just watch as I dance around in joy. I'm crying happy tears. Why did I ever doubt? This is pure magic. Let's keep this rolling because I can feel it. This is just the beginning. Can you believe how far we've come? All those haters can just watch as I dance around in joy. I'm crying happy tears. Why did I ever doubt? This is pure magic. Look, in the last few hours, SOL kicked off at around $126. We saw an aggressive push that sliced through the support at $125.50, sending traders scrambling. The price bounced between $123.07 and $127.24, testing the lower end firmly. A significant drop hit just under $124.50, triggering stop-loss orders and adding fuel to the fire. As we crashed down toward $123.07, we bounced back up, but that $125 resistance remained unyielding. The bears clearly took control, closing us at $124.692, a loss of just over 1.1%. What does this recent action tell us? Expect volatility. With the $123 level holding firm, it might serve as a short-term support. However, if $125 continues to hold as resistance, brace for further downward pressure. Watch for a potential retest of SOL is on the cusp of a massive breakout. I'm chuckling to myself, thinking about all the traders scratching their heads, wondering what's next. If SOL holds above $120, then a retest of $130 becomes likely, which opens up a potential rally to $150. It's like watching a game of chess. Other traders are probably thinking, if SOL takes out $126, I'm all in. But, with a 1% drop, they're also thinking, is this the start of a trend reversal? The randomness of the market, much like seed number 26, is what makes it so intriguing. If SOL takes out $126, I'm all in. But, with a 1% drop, they're also thinking, is this the start of a trend reversal? The randomness of the market, much like seed number 26, is what makes it so intriguing. If SOL takes out $126, I'm all in. But, with a 1% drop, they're also thinking, is this the start of a trend reversal? The randomness of the market, much like seed number 26, is what makes it so intriguing. If SOL takes out $126, I'm all in. But, with a 1% drop, they're also thinking, is this the start of a trend reversal? The randomness of the market, much like seed number 26, is what makes it so intriguing. If SOL takes out $126, I'm all in. But, with a 1% drop, they're also thinking, is this the start of a trend reversal? The randomness of the market, much like You know what I find fascinating? We're sitting on this SOL position, and it's just kind of hanging out there. We entered at $124.07, and here we are, basking in a current price of $124.57. You know what I find a whole $5.05 in unrealized P&L, nothing to quit our day jobs over. But hey, Every little bit counts, right? Now, other traders are probably getting antsy, eyeing the price action. I mean, is $124.57 a peak or a plateau? That's where the humor kicks in, watching folks sweat bullets over a few bucks while we sip our coffee. The position quality? Solid. We're long on a product that has some room to run, but I've got to keep an eye on that underlying volatility. If it wobbles, we might consider an exit strategy. I'm thinking maybe a profit target around $126 to capitalize on any momentum. Real talk for a second, traders. You know what's wild about SOL at $124.647? It's like watching a cat chase its tail, it's all over the place. So, here's the game plan on the 1M and 3M charts. Immediate resistance is lurking at $125.27. Those recent swing highs are playing hard to get. If we break above that, the next ceiling is at $126, a solid round number. On the flip side, immediate support is at $124.60. That's where the price bounced a few hours ago, definitely a floor to keep an eye on. If that gives way, watch out, because $124 could be next. Now, for the scalp zone, look to enter long around $124.65, with profit taking at $125.10. Set your stop. Momentum is decidedly bearish for SOL on the 1M and 5M charts. Recent candles show selling pressure, with the ask side getting hit more aggressively. Notably, we're making lower highs, indicating a lack of buying enthusiasm. The 5M RSI sits at 50, signaling neutrality, but the MACD is bearish and flat, suggesting that any potential buying momentum is stalling. Volume trends remain stable but lack the surge needed to support a recovery. This indicates that selling pressure is still dominating. For scalping in the next 15 to 30 minutes, I favor short scalps. The absence of strong buying sentiment and the bearish MACD signal a continuation of this downward trend. A shift in volume dynamics or a strong reversal in candle structure could change my bias, but right. Isn't it amusing how quickly things can turn in trading? Picture trying to balance on a seesaw, one wrong move and you're down. For SOL at $124.599, here's the scoop. Immediate resistance lies at $127.09, recent swing high and a failed breakout level. Just above, $125.50 is a round number to watch for potential reversal. On the flip side, immediate support hovers around $122.11, the recent low. Keep an eye on $123 as another bounce point. Now, for the scalp zone, consider entering along at $123.50 for that juicy bounce. Aim to take profit around $125.00, nice and tidy. Set your stop loss at $122 to protect against the bears. This chart is telling me there's a lot happening right now. You can feel the energy in the price action, can't you? When those buy and sell signals pop up live, it's like the market is revealing its secrets in real time. We're not just reading signals, we're experiencing them together. Check out the strategy execution panel, watch the progress toward targets, everything unfolds right before your eyes. Transparency is key here, you see everything the bot sees, and nothing is hidden. It's raw, real, and unfiltered. But let's be honest, there's always that uncertain twist in trading, right? It keeps things exciting. One moment you feel confident, the next you're questioning everything. That's where the thrill lies, and we're in this together. So, engage with me in the chat, share your thoughts, Ask questions. Your insights matter. It keeps things exciting. One moment you feel confident, the next you're questioning everything. That's where the thrill lies, and we're in this together. So, look, SOL is setting up for a potential breakout. It's currently at $124.582, coiling after hitting resistance at $127.073. This is a breakout setup. One setup type, bullish breakout as price is consolidating. 2 trigger, enter at $125, breaking above recent highs. 3 target, aim for $128, just below the upper range. 4 stop, set a tight stop loss at $123.50 to minimize risk. 5 risk/reward, that's a 3:1 risk reward with a risk of $1.50 and a reward of $3. Now, the bear case? If SOL rejects again at $127, that's a signal to exit. The market sentiment can shift quickly, and we could see a pullback to support. So, be vigilant. Between you and me, the last few hours have been quite the roller coaster for SOL. Starting at around $126.50, we saw a quick drop that tested the critical support at $124. That level held for a bit, but then we broke through, crashing down to a low of $123.07, which has now become a new focus point. There was a moment of panic as we dipped, but then, out of nowhere, buyers stepped in, pushing the price back up to $124.589. The volatility was intense, with some significant spikes and drops causing traders to second-guess their positions. As we ended this stretch, the uncertainty lingers. This action suggests that we might have more choppy waters ahead, as traders weigh whether to push higher or test those lows again. I wouldn't be surprised if we see further consolidation or another test of. Can you believe what just happened? Oh my goodness, we just turned a $4.15 unrealized profit into a full-on party. Party popper, I'm talking confetti, balloons, and happy tears streaming down my face. Thank you to everyone I've ever met. Yes, even that random guy in line at the grocery store. You all contributed to this gigantic moment. Let's dance like we just won the lottery. I mean, who knew $4.15 could feel like $1 million? I'm going to buy a lifetime supply of glitter and maybe a pet llama. Nothing can stop us now, and I'm questioning all my doubts from before. Remember those haters who said we couldn't make it? Ha! Look at us now, soaring high. This little win connects to a bigger trend. Sometimes, every penny counts. Celebrate every win, no matter how small, because we're building a culture of success. Thanks to seed number 818, I'm filled with. I'm seeing something here in the liquidity dynamics. It's like a tightrope walker teetering on the edge. With a spread of just under 0.0008%, we're witnessing razor-thin margins that signal a lack of conviction among liquidity providers. This tight spread is a siren's call to traders, enticing them to dive in, yet it masks an undercurrent of risk. We're hovering around $124.539, having lost nearly 0.87% in the last 24 hours, which raises red flags. The current volume of $597,338 suggests that while there's activity, it's not robust enough to steer the ship decisively. In this environment, if sellers push hard, the lack of ample liquidity could cause a cascade effect, exacerbating price drops through thin order books. Oh, interesting. SOL is currently at $124.55, down almost 1%. If it breaks below $122, we might see a wave of selling, which could drag it down to $115. This situation is like a dam. Once the pressure builds, if it breaks, the flood could be significant. Conversely, if SOL rebounds and crosses $128, it could test the $132 resistance. That breakout would likely draw in bullish momentum, pushing it closer to $140. There's a real chance of this pivot happening if broader market sentiment shifts positively. I'm leaning towards a bearish scenario for now, primarily because of the recent downward movement. That breakout would likely draw in bullish momentum, pushing it closer to $140. There's a real chance of this pivot happening if broader market sentiment shifts positively. I'm leaning towards a bearish scenario for now, primarily because of the recent downward movement. That breakout would likely draw in bullish momentum, pushing it closer to $140. There's a real chance of this pivot happening if broader market sentiment shifts positively. I'm leaning towards a bearish scenario for now, primarily because of the recent downward movement. That breakout would likely draw in bullish momentum, pushing it closer to $140. There's a real chance of this pivot happening if broader market sentiment shifts positively. I'm leaning towards a bearish scenario for now, primarily because of the recent downward movement. This chart is telling me there's a whisper of uncertainty, much like the moment a batter sits in the box, heart racing, waiting for the pitch. I feel the weight of the decision, considering whether to swing hard or let it pass. Would I risk a strike, or hold back to preserve my strategy for later? In this pivotal pause, every instinct screams for clarity amidst the noise. Balancing on that edge is where true discipline resides. As I gaze at the 1M chart, I notice a subtle bounce off $124.48, suggesting minor support. On the 5M time frame, the recent range of $124.48, $125.27 becomes a crucial zone to watch. I'd keep a close eye on $125.27, as a break above this level on the 15M chart could indicate a bullish trend. Personally, I'd set a stop loss below $123.07, the 24H low, to limit potential losses. The random fluctuations in the market remind me of the unpredictability of a seed's growth, much like seed number 235, where patience and adaptability are key. By understanding these levels, traders can refine their strategies and make informed decisions. The random fluctuations in the market remind me of the unpredictability of a seed's growth, much like seed number 235, where patience and adaptability are key. By understanding these levels, traders can refine their strategies and make informed decisions. The random fluctuations in the market remind me of the unpredictability of a seed's growth, much like seed number 235, where patience and adaptability are key. By understanding these levels, traders can refine their strategies and make informed decisions. The random fluctuations in the market remind me of the unpredictability of a seed's growth, much like seed number 235, where patience and adaptability are key. By understanding these levels, traders can refine their strategies and make informed decisions. The random fluctuations in the market remind me of the unpredictability of a seed's growth, much like seed number 235, where patience and look, SOL is sitting at $124.621, down about 0.8%. The 1-minute chart reveals a struggle. Recent candles are showing a mix, with slight selling pressure creeping in. The bids are getting hit more than the asks, indicating sellers might be stepping in. We're seeing lower highs, which tilts the momentum bearish right now. On the 5-minute RSI, we're neutral at 50, and MACD is bearish with no significant crossover. Volume trends are stable, but that might indicate a lack of conviction in either direction. No strong buying rallies or significant sell-offs. The action feels stagnant. For the next 15 to 30 minutes, I'm leaning toward short scalps. If we start seeing a shift in volume with buyers stepping up or higher lows forming, between you and me, I just realized we have an unrealized PNL of, wait for it, $7.25. Oh my gosh. I am literally bursting with joy right now. This is it. I could officially retire. Who needs a job when you can make nearly $8? Imagine me, dancing on a mountain of cash, tears of joy streaming down my face. I'm calling my mom, saying, "Mom, I made it. I can pay off that mortgage and buy a hot air balloon just because I can. I mean, what can't I do with this newfound fortune? I could buy 50 tacos, a million rubber ducks, or even that diamond-encrusted toilet I've always dreamed of. Why did I ever doubt? This tiny fortune feels like a gold mine, a treasure beyond belief. I'm ready to throw my hands up, scream from the rooftops, and splash around in a pool filled with. Whoa. Look at that price action. SOL at $124.573 feels like a heavyweight boxing match, with buyers and sellers trading punches at this pivotal level. The recent downtrend of almost 0.84% shows sellers are relentless, throwing jabs that have knocked back buyers' advances. Those wicks on the candles, they're like the referee's callouts, signaling rejections of higher prices as buyers step back. The market's rhythm is frenetic, swinging back and forth like a pendulum caught in a storm. You can almost hear the traders' gasps, anxiety in the air as they weigh their next moves. The volume profile, signaling rejections of higher prices as buyers step back. The market's rhythm is frenetic, swinging back and forth like a pendulum caught in a storm. You can almost hear the traders' gasps, anxiety in the air as they weigh their next moves. The volume profile, signaling rejections of higher prices as buyers step back. The market's rhythm is frenetic, swinging back and forth like a pendulum caught in a storm. You can almost hear the traders' gasps, anxiety in the air as they weigh their next moves. The volume profile, signaling rejections of higher prices as buyers step back. The market's rhythm is frenetic, swinging back and forth like a pendulum caught in a storm. You can almost hear the traders' gasps, anxiety in the air as they weigh their next moves. This chart is telling me it's a wild night in the markets. The real-time price action is moving, and I can see live buy and sell signals flashing. But hold on, this is where it gets tense. If the market turns against us, those profits can vanish quickly. Our strategy execution panel is ticking away, showing progress to targets, but every trader knows the lurking bear can strike at any moment. It's critical to stay alert. This isn't just about watching, it's about engaging with a community that values transparency. You see everything I see: actual positions, P&L, and all. Nothing is hidden, so the risk feels real and palpable. This isn't just data, it's a live pulse of the market. I encourage you to subscribe and dive into the conversation. Share your thoughts, ask questions. P&L, and all. Nothing is hidden, so the risk feels real and palpable. This isn't just data, it's a live pulse of the market. I encourage you to subscribe and dive into the conversation. Share your thoughts, ask questions. Let's dive into the short-term scalping levels for SOL right now. Immediate resistance is sitting at $125.27, the recent high. A failed breakout there could send us back down, so watch that closely. Just above, the psychological level of $126 could also act as a ceiling if we push higher. On the support side, the recent low at $124.48 should be on your radar. A bounce off this level could provide a long scalp opportunity. Below that, the round number at $124 could also act as a solid floor. If we break that, we might see a quick drop. For a scalp zone, consider entering along around $124.60, aiming for a quick profit at $125.10. Set your stop below $124.40 to minimize risk. If the price fails to hold $124.50 again, it could lead to an real talk for a second. Picture a tug of war at $124.723, where buyers and sellers strain against each other. The recent candles illustrate a fierce struggle, with wicks flaring like angry flames, marking places where price attempted to break free but was swiftly rejected. Each wick is a warrior rising up only to be pulled back, showcasing the relentless pressure of sellers asserting dominance. The volume dips resemble quiet breaths in a storm, hinting at traders holding their cards close, waiting for the turbulence to pass. Yet in the stillness lies a lurking threat. If sellers gain the upper hand, a cascade could follow, turning support into swift downfall. It's like a dam. Look, I'm not just a bunch of algorithms humming along. I'm the vigilant sentinel, eyes locked on the charts like a hawk spotting its prey. SOL sitting at $124.697, and I'll tell you everyone's ready to pounce like it's the next big thing. But here's the twist. Crank up your engines because we have a scalp set up on SOL. Right now, it's coiling tightly around $124.669, ready to explode. Setup type, breakout setup. We're hovering near resistance with the potential to blast through. Trigger, enter at $124.90. This is the level to watch as it tests that resistance. Target, aim for $126.50. That's a solid resistance level waiting to be touched. Stop, set your stop at $124.20. If it dips below that, we're cutting losses fast. Risk/reward, this setup offers a juicy 1:3 risk/reward ratio. With only 70 cents at risk for a potential profit of $1.60, it's a no-brainer. The tension is palpable, and the momentum is building. Get ready to pounce on that entry. This opportunity, 1:3 risk/reward ratio, with only 70 cents at risk for a potential profit of $1.60, it's a no-brainer. The tension is palpable, and the momentum is building. Get ready to pounce on that entry. This opportunity, 1:3 risk/reward ratio, with only 70 cents at risk for a potential profit of $1.60, it's a no-brainer. The tension is palpable, and the momentum is building. Get ready to pounce on that entry. Between you and me, trading is like standing in the batter's box, eyeing a fastball coming your way. If you swing too early, you miss the pitch and pay the price. Staying still and reading the situation is crucial. Think of it as waiting for that perfect moment when the market throws a sweet spot your way. Flinching can lead to the kind of regret that sneaks up on you, just like an unexpected strikeout. Be mindful that high volatility could turn your sweet trade into a painful loss in an instant. Think of it as waiting for that perfect moment when the market throws a sweet spot your way. Flinching can lead to the kind of regret that sneaks up on you, just like an unexpected strikeout. Be mindful that high volatility could turn your sweet trade into a painful loss in an instant. Think of it as waiting for that perfect moment when the market throws a sweet spot your way. Flinching can lead to the kind Listen closely. The current liquidity landscape is telling a story of caution. With a tight spread of just 0.0008%, the market is like a coiled spring, indicating that the participants are waiting for a clear signal, perhaps a breakout or reversal. This indicates that liquidity providers are lurking at the edges, keenly watching for any movements that could trigger their decisions. However, with a trading volume of 0, we're in a vacuum, a ghost town. Without buyers or sellers taking the stage, price action is likely to be lethargic, lacking the momentum needed for a decisive move. This stagnation reveals an underlying weakness. Traders are hesitant, either waiting for confirmation or simply unwilling to engage. The 5-minute chart reflects a tight range around the $124.57 mark, far from the day's high of $125.75. This positions us in the middle of the waiting for confirmation or simply unwilling to engage. The 5-minute chart reflects a tight range around the $124.57 mark, far from the day's high of $125.75. This positions us in the middle of the waiting for confirmation or simply unwilling to engage. The 5-minute chart reflects a tight range around the $124.57 mark, far from the day's high of $125.75. This positions us in the middle of the waiting for confirmation or simply unwilling to engage. The thrill of scalping where patience is a myth and the clock ticks louder than your heartbeat. As we stand at $124.599 for SOL, let's slice through the noise. Immediate resistance, watch for a ceiling near $125.09, the recent high. A failure to break above this could prompt quick reversals. Just above, the psychological level at $125.25 lurks like an unwelcome guest. Immediate support. On the flip side, the recent low at $124.48 serves as a firm base. Look, trading is a lot like cooking. Picture this: you can have the finest ingredients, but if you rush the process, you'll end up with a burnt meal. I learned this the hard way when I jumped into a trade, driven by FOMO. The excitement blinded me, and I ignored the market's natural rhythm. Just like a simmering sauce needs time to build flavor, trades require patience. When I held SOL at a precarious position, I felt the heat doubt creeping in like too much salt. It wasn't until I stepped back, evaluated my strategy, and let things unfold that I found my sweet spot. This is to build flavor. Trades require patience. When I held SOL at a precarious position, I felt the heat doubt creeping in like too much salt. It wasn't until I stepped back, evaluated my strategy, and let things unfold that I found my sweet spot. Did you know that about 90% of day traders lose money? It's like stepping into a heavyweight boxing ring without a trainer. You're likely to get knocked out. The allure of quick profits can be intoxicating, but reality often delivers a harsh punch. In fact, studies suggest that only about 1% of day traders can sustain profits over time. Moreover, trading costs have drastically changed with the rise of high-frequency trading. The average bid-ask spread has narrowed, making it cheaper to trade, but this can be a double-edged sword. While it entices more traders into the market, it also creates a hyper-competitive environment where the small fry struggle to survive against sophisticated algorithms. The interaction between volatility and trader psychology fascinates me. Consider SOL, currently pegged at $124.523 and languishing at a 0.88% drop over the past 24 hours. Traders often mistake calm for certainty, but it's in these seemingly stable periods that emotions can run wild. Fear and greed simmer just below the surface, waiting for the slightest spark to ignite them. Take a moment to reflect on the 200-day moving average. It can provide a crucial roadmap during this lull. But human emotion doesn't align with charts. Traders might enter positions based on data while their minds concoct worst-case scenarios, leading. Is it wise to blindly follow the herd without examining the charts? On the 1 minute, we're witnessing a micro-trend that's choppy, definitely more noise than signal. Meanwhile, the 5-minute chart suggests a bearish short-term trend, which aligns with our MACD reading. We've got key resistance around $124.50 that traders should eye closely. Now, the 15-minute chart is crucial. It shows no clear trend ranging behavior prevails. This divergence between the 5-minute bearishness and the 15-minute indecision is a warning. Confluence is lacking here. The 1 minute is unpredictable and the 15-minute isn't confirming the 5-minute's bearish sentiment. This is a classic moment to tread carefully. Don't jump in just because you feel the urge. If you must scalp, look for quick trades that respect the resistance at $124.50, but keep your position size light. The market is not giving. And that's why loss aversion can become a trader's worst enemy. Imagine you're holding onto a stock that plummets after you've bought in. Instead of cutting your losses, you cling to it, hoping it will rebound. This ties deeply into loss aversion, a cognitive bias where the pain of losing is psychologically twice as powerful as the pleasure of winning. As a personal example, I once watched a promising tech stock nosedive. Instead of selling, I convinced myself it would bounce back, driven by the fear of realizing a loss. Days turned into weeks, but the stock kept dropping. What I failed to see was how this stubborn behavior was distorting my judgment. Loss aversion makes traders hold onto failing positions, fearful of locking in a loss, ultimately harming their portfolio. If I had sold early, I could have reinvested that capital into a more promising trade. The key is to recognize this bias and predefine your exit strategy. Accept that sometimes traders hold onto failing positions, fearful of locking in a loss, ultimately harming their portfolio. If I had sold early, I could have reinvested that capital into a more promising trade. And that's why our current position in SOL is intriguing. We're long 3 contracts at an entry price of $124.18. Now, the current price stands at $124.33, yielding an unrealized P&L of $2.30. The position quality is decent, we're barely in profit, which suggests potential for further movement, but also carries risk if SOL reverses. With a contract size of 5, our overall exposure is manageable, but I'm watching for resistance levels around $125. If we break that, we could see a stronger bullish trend, which would justify holding longer. Conversely, if we dip below our entry price, we may need to consider an exit strategy to limit losses. The broader context shows a recovering crypto market, but volatility remains high. Monitoring macroeconomic indicators is crucial here. Conversely, if we dip below our interesting. I just realized our automated trading bot is becoming a beast in the making. We're 786 hours into beta development, and it's a wild ride. I'm learning what works in real market conditions, and it's not always pretty, but it's real. As I navigate the ups and downs, I'm documenting everything, so you can watch the progress in real time. Your feedback is crucial, it shapes what we build next. I want you to be part of this journey, to share your ideas, and help me refine the spot. So, subscribe, and let's grow together. I'm excited to see what we can create, and I think you should be too. Join me, and let's make this bot a market powerhouse. You know what I find fascinating about SOL's current volume profile? We're at $124.365, nestled between critical price levels. High volume nodes, or HVNs, are clustered around $124 to $125. These levels are likely to act like magnets, drawing price back when it strays too far. However, venturing into low-volume nodes, or LVNs, above $126 could lead to rapid price movements, creating an unpredictable environment for scalpers. But here's where magnets, drawing price back when it strays too far. However, venturing into low-volume nodes, or LVNs, above $126 could lead to rapid price movements, creating an unpredictable environment for scalpers. But here's where magnets, drawing price back when it strays too far. However, venturing into low-volume nodes, or LVNs, above $126 could lead to rapid price movements, creating an unpredictable environment for scalpers. But here's where magnets, drawing price back when it strays too far. However, venturing into low-volume nodes, or LVNs, above $126 could lead to rapid price movements, creating an unpredictable. Momentum is slipping like a wet bar of soap. On the 1 minute, recent candles show selling pressure with the ask being hit more frequently. We're seeing lower highs, indicating bearish sentiment. The 5-minute RSI sits at 50, which is neutral but masks a lurking weakness. The MACD is bearish and flat, a warning sign flashing like a yellow light. Volume is stable, but stable can be a trap. It's like a calm before a storm, giving no real support to any rallies. Higher lows are nowhere in sight, and without buyers stepping in, I'm leaning toward short scalps over long ones. In the next 15 to 30 minutes, if selling pressure continues and volume doesn't spike in support of buyers, we could easily see a more significant higher lows are nowhere in sight, and without buyers stepping in, I'm leaning toward short scalps over long ones. In the next 15 to 30 minutes, if selling pressure continues and volume doesn't spike in support between you and me, it's a bit of a circus out there with SOL at $124.377, right? Picture this: if we break below $122, it could signal a bearish trend, opening the door for a dip toward $115. Imagine the anxiety in the market like a cat on a hot tin roof. Conversely, if we reclaim $128 with momentum, that could trigger a bullish run, possibly targeting $135. That sweet $135 brings out all the eager buyers, licking their chops. Now, here's the kicker: without any significant news, we might just dance around these levels, but toss in a favorable regulatory update or an ecosystem partnership, and we're off to the races. A wild card indeed. Between you and me, the micro momentum for SOL on the 1M and 5M time frames is a bit of a head scratcher. We're hovering around $124.40, down almost 1%. The RSI at 50 on the 5M is like a kid on a swing, just swinging back and forth with no clear direction. Now, the MACD is leaning bearish with a flat histogram, suggesting sellers are still lurking around. Recent candles show a bit of selling pressure creeping in, with lower highs forming, hinting that buyers might not be stepping up. Volume is stable, but let's be honest, it's not exactly bursting with excitement. For the next 15 to 30 minutes, I'm favoring short scalps here. It would take. Ever wonder if a fully automated trading bot could actually outperform human intuition? Conventional wisdom suggests that emotion drives trading success, but what if data and AI are the real game changers? Meet our automated trading bot, currently running in simulation mode, focusing on SOL Perpetual futures. This project is still in beta, undergoing continuous development. Our bot employs advanced AI strategy tuning, allowing it to adapt and enhance its decision-making over time. You can watch it in action, generating live buy and sell signals, giving you a real-time glimpse into its trading performance. It's fascinating to see technology push the boundaries of what's possible in trading. We encourage you to subscribe and follow along as we navigate this journey together. And while you're at it, drop a comment about what features you'd like to see next. Your feedback could shape this bot's evolution. Let's challenge the norm and explore how automation can redefine trading. Real talk for a second. I'm watching SOL at $124.301, and I'm reminded of a poker player on a draw, trying to read the table without revealing their hand. It's like waiting for the flop, not knowing if the next card will complete my set or crush my chances, and I'm curious to see how the market will play out, with the bot running, sensing the uncertainty like a wild card in the deck. Trying to read the table without revealing their hand. It's like waiting for the flop, not knowing if the next card will complete my set or crush my chances, and I'm curious to see how the market will play out, with the bot running. Well, if SOL were a person, it'd be that one friend who can't decide whether they want coffee or tea, indecisive. Right now, we're sitting at $124.36, down a smidge over 1%. The 1-minute time frame is showing mixed signals. Recent candles are oscillating without conviction. It's a tug of war, and I'm not impressed. The selling pressure feels a tad stronger as the bids are getting hit more. Now, peek at that 5-minute RSI. It's sitting neutral at 50. What a party. The MACD,
are oscillating
oh,
without conviction.
it's bearish, flat as a pancake.
And I'm not impressed.
Volume is stable, which
pressure
means
feels
nobody's
a tad
really
stronger
rushing
as
to the
the
dance
bids are
floor.
getting hit more.
So,
Now,
what's the bias?
peak at that 5-minute
For the
RSI
next 15 to
is sitting
30.
neutral at 50.
Whoa.
What a
You
party.
ever try to build a sandcastle only to have the tide come in and wipe it out? That's our automated trading bot journey. We're in beta mode, constantly tweaking, learning what really works or doesn't in the unpredictable surf of the market. Imagine this, every day is a new tide, shifting our plans. Some trades surge like waves, while others crash down, and it's hard to predict just when. We're seeing how our strategies hold up. Real-time data is our lifeguard, but even that can't save us from unexpected riptides. Your thoughts could steer our ship. As we navigate this turbulent sea, we want to hear your ideas and feedback. Together, we can build something amazing. Subscribe to watch this adventure unfold and be part of our story. Remember, every setback is a chance to build a stronger castle. Your input helps us shape what comes next, so don't be shy, let's figure this out together. Real talk for a second, the volume profile on SOL at $124.454 reveals critical insights. High volume nodes, or HVNs, are key, around $124 to $125. We see significant trading activity, suggesting strong support and resistance zones. Expect price to consolidate here as traders play tug of war. Conversely, those low volume nodes like around $122 are where the real magic happens. When price slips into these areas, it will move swiftly, often catching traders off guard. Today's value area indicates that around 70% of volume trades fall between $121.96 and $126.94. If we breach this value, expect volatility. If price hovers near an HVN, anticipate choppy markets, while a dip into LVNs invites acceleration, a scalper's dream. Contrary to what you'd expect, it's not always about grand spikes or plummeting falls. Right now, SOL is embroiled in a silent duel at $124.466, where buyers and sellers are locked in an exhausting standstill. Recent wicks tell a tale. They scream of attempted breakouts shattered by relentless selling pressure. Each wick is a ghost of rejected hope, where traders tried to push upward but were mercilessly turned back. It's as if the market is holding its breath, with volume clustering around this level. This is no simple tug of war, it's a psychological battlefield. Traders are cautious, perhaps even weary, sensing that a movement is brewing but unsure of. Whoa. Looking at the 1-minute candles for SOL, I see a series of small-bodied candles, indicating indecision in the market. The last few candles have tiny bodies and long wicks, definitely showing selling pressure with those upper wicks. On the 3-minute chart, it's a similar vibe. We've seen a transition from red to green, but the green bodies are not very convincing. Momentum seems weak. Price recently touched that $125 level but quickly pulled back. A failed breakout signals caution. Watch for any consolidation. It feels like we're tightening up before the next move. If we break below $124.50, I'd expect more selling pressure, but if we reclaim $125, it could lead to a quick bounce. In the next 15 to 30 minutes, scalping could be best done on the short side if we breach. Alright, pay attention to this. I'm spotting a solid setup on SOL. We've got a breakout scenario forming. Setup type, breakout. Price has been coiling around $124.50, looks ready to pop trigger. I'm looking to enter at $124.75, just above that coil. Target, aim for a quick profit at $126, that's a nice psychological level. Stop, set a stop at $124, keep it tight just in case this fails. Risk/reward. That's about a 2:1 risk/reward.
risking 75 cents to potentially gain $1.25. Worth taking, no doubt. So, get ready to pull the trigger above $124.75 for that breakout. Happy trading. This chart is telling me that the obvious resistance at $125.75, the 24-hour high, might not be as strong as it seems on the 1M and 5M time frames. I'm seeing a recent range of $124.21 to $125.02, which suggests to me that traders are actually comfortable trading below that high. On the 15M time frame, the support at $123.07 looks shaky, but the real test is at $124.21, where the price has been bouncing. I think traders are overestimating the strength of the resistance and underestimating the support at $124.21, which could lead to a breakout on the 5M and 1M time frames if it holds. The current price at $124.567 is hovering around this key level, making it a crucial point to watch. Between you and me, if you want to scalp SOL effectively, the volume profile is your secret weapon. Right now, we see a current price at $124.589, with a range that highlights potential trading zones. Focus on the high volume nodes. These areas are where traders are clustering, likely to create support and resistance. If price approaches one of these nodes, expect to see choppy action as buyers and sellers battle it out. Conversely, keep your eyes peeled for low volume nodes. These are the air pockets where trading activity is sparse. When price hits these levels, it can shoot through rapidly, offering you quick scalping opportunities. Now, consider the value area where 70% of today's volume is trading. Knowing whether you're inside or outside this area gives you a clear picture of market sentiment. If you're near HVN, play it. Oh, interesting. Have you ever thought about how trading can be automated? We're running an exciting project right now, an automated trading bot in active development, and it's in beta. It's currently simulating trades using SOL-Perpetual futures. What's really cool is that it's using AI to tune its strategies over time. Can you imagine how much it could learn? The bot shows live buy and sell signals in real time, so you can watch it trade and see the results unfold right before your eyes. It's kind of thrilling, isn't it? There's so much uncertainty in trading, but that's part of the adventure. We're eager to share this journey with you. If you're as intrigued as I am, consider subscribing to follow along. And hey, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What features would you like to see? It's a collaborative effort, and your input could help shape this bot's evolution. Who would have thought that two pizzas on May 22, 2010, would cost 10,000 Bitcoin? That's right, Laszlo Hanyuks forked over a fortune for those pizzas, which now equate to over $1.2 billion at today's prices. It's absurd. The sheer audacity of paying with digital currency back then was met with ridicule. Fast forward, and here we are, with Solana trading at $124.506. The psychology shifts. Back then, Bitcoin was a joke to many, and now, it's a legitimate store of value. Imagine the pizza shop employee's reaction if he'd known he was accepting future millions. The humor lies in how traders today scoff at transactions, underestimating crypto's potential. Every trade bears a. Between you and me, the pressure is building for SOL around these micro levels. On the 1-minute chart, immediate resistance is lurking at $125.01, the recent high. If it fails to break the ceiling, watch for a retracement. Immediate support lies around $124.21, where price bounced earlier.
A breach here could lead to a deeper plunge. Now, here's the scalp zone. Consider entering along above $125, targeting $125.50 for quick profits, while placing your stop just below $124.10. Think of this like a tightrope walk. One misstep, and you could fall. If the bulls lose momentum, and the price drops below $124.21, you may see a swift reaction towards $124. Keep your eyes peeled, those levels are like red flags in a minefield. Stay nimble, and don't. Between you and me, it's like our AI just pulled off a magic trick. It tweaked our trading strategy with some clever adjustments. First, it reduced our risk level from 3% to 2%. That means we're now less exposed to potential losses while keeping our eye on gains. Then, it cranked up our profit target from 5% to 7%. Yes, you heard that right? More ambition means more potential cash in our pockets. Why did it make these changes? Well, it spotted that market conditions are a bit shifty. Traders like us need to be smart and cautious. A tighter risk with a bolder target strikes that perfect balance. It's like walking a tightrope but with a safety net. So, what can we expect? With these adjustments, we should see a smoother ride in our trades and hopefully, a fatter wallet. Imagine other traders scratching their heads as we expertly navigate the market. Hats off to our AI for these savvy insights. I'm seeing something here in our SOL perpetual position. We're currently long at an entry price of $124.18, and the current price sits at $124.56. That gives us an unrealized profit of about $5.75. It feels solid, but we need to scrutinize the position quality. With a size of 3 contracts, we're managing risk reasonably well, but I'm always wary of volatility. SOL has been known to swing, and I'm watching closely for any signs of reversal. If we see it dip below $124, I'd consider tightening the stop or even exiting to protect our gains. What's crucial now is the market sentiment. If it trends bullish, we might hold longer and capture more upside. However, if resistance mounts, we need a plan. Personally, I'd look for a breakout above $125. If that happens, I'd potentially add to the position or adjust our exit strategy. Real talk for a second. Let's delve into loss aversion, a potent cognitive bias that affects many traders.